All right, so you see where we're at. We're at the Garner Police Department. We're about to go in and see if they will give us a police report for our brother, Benji Martin. So let's go in here and see what they have. I'm going to record it, but you're not going to be able to see anything. Let's go find out. How you doing? Can I get a police report, police incident report?
Have your report?
Ma'am?
You have your report number?
No, I don't know. It's not my report. It's just a public records report.
What kind of report?
For like an incident report for a crime. I think the one who was charged was Benjamin Martin.
So you want the report from Saturday?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, sweetheart. All right, you have a good day. All right, peace and blessings. All praises due to the Most High. And there you see today, I had a chance to visit the police station down in Garner, where our brother Benjamin Martin Jr. Is charged with murder in the death of the deputy Roger Smith, who, from accounts that I've received, is responsible for his own demise. But nevertheless, I went and picked up the police report, which basically, in my opinion, proves that Benjamin Martin did not shoot that deputy. Now I'm going to go over that police report with you, as well as I'm going to show you when I visited the hospital, the emergency room in which this incident happened. And you're going to hear me talk to some deputies, and you're going to see that lobby where there are several cameras around, which is also very important because I also sent a records request to get the footage from the police officer's body cam, the surveillance footage, and any police reports. And I'm going to show you how they're already putting things in place to keep that information from the public. But first, take a look at this lobby, and I'll be back with that police report to show you how our brother is not guilty of what they're trying to say he is. All right, so we are in the lobby of where the shooting happened at, and there you can see a camera right there, so you know there's cameras. How you doing? So you know there's camera. There's one of the cameras right here, and I'm gonna put the phone down so I can walk up here and ask questions without them being suspicious. All right, so there you see part of the lobby, and there was a camera right there, but I am going to go right to the desk right there where this incident happened. I had to hide the fact that I was recording so people wouldn't be alarmed, but you're going to hear me talk to the front desk nurse as well as two deputies, and you're going to see the site where this actually happened at. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Is that where that incident happened at? That's where they got the mirror right there? Right here in front of it?
I'm not quite sure.
All right, and so you heard the nurse say, well, I'm not quite sure. And then I immediately move over to where the two deputies are, and you're going to see the scene where it happened at. How y'all doing? That's where that incident happened at, right here, this location? That's where the incident happened at, right here in this location, or they just, right here? Oh, man. My condolences to y'all.
Last name weird?
November 8th. What was that, a Friday? Was that a Friday? Saturday.
Right around here.
What happened?
Wait a minute. FBI is telling us what happened and just waiting for their investigation.
Yeah.
We won't give you this. I'll picture if we can. We don't want We let the professionals investigate, take care of it. Don't tell everybody what happened. We know what happened.
Yeah.
Like, it's more, but we don't know.
Yeah.
Like everybody else.
All right. So if you didn't hear me, and the deputies, it was hard to hear. Basically, they were saying that they don't know what happened. The SBI and the professionals are investigating it. They still don't know what happened. We don't want to give out any false information, which I believe, of course, they know what happened by now. That is their colleague. It has been 5 or 6 days. So everybody in that department knows what happened. Probably everybody has seen the video because I've seen videos shared in barbershops where deputies have shared videos that were supposed to be private. But next, you're going to see the actual mural that they have set up for him, and it is right by the door. So I guess this is the location right here. They have a mural up right here. So, yeah. So right here by the door. So this is, I guess, the entrance. All right, and so you can see that lobby. It's actually fairly small, and there's a lot of white people in there. In behind the counters, there was one African American brother, but I didn't feel comfortable enough to just start asking questions. I can tell it was already a sober tone. When I talked to the nurse, she kind of was like, I'm not sure. I don't want to talk about it, basically. And so, I didn't hang around. I didn't wait for any possible witnesses who have seen the incident. I just went directly to the police station and got the report. Now, I didn't have any problem getting the report, but I did have to go back after I saw this on the report. Now, let me show you the report. Now, this is the report right here. And you see the incident data. It doesn't have any name or anybody charged, but you see it has the incident data, and it says crime and incident, and they have murder and non-negligent manslaughter. So they have two separate charges for this individual who has been charged. And you see the date 11/8/23. And you also see below the victim. The victim of this murder and non-negligent manslaughter is Smith Roger Lee. Roger Lee Smith, age 59. Now, further down, and I'm going to show you the report because this is public knowledge. You have individuals involved, not law enforcement. So that would lead me to believe that these are eyewitnesses. And here you have Cindy Castillo and Christopher Carazan. Now you see those are this 34-year-old white female and a 28-year-old white male. Now let's go to the third page of this report, and you're going to see there 5 other individuals, and you'll see right at the top Nicole Andres, 45-year-old white female. Lisa Woods, 56-year-old white female. Michelle Mangold, 56-year-old white female. Brandy Dover, 37-year-old white female. And Hong Pham, hope I pronounced that right, my Asian brother, but 31-year-old Asian male. And so you would just have to assume that all of those are the witnesses. And so you have 7 people, all of them white or Asian, and all of them are the eyewitnesses. No black person saw what happened, conveniently, right? So, we're resting on the testimony of someone who doesn't look like our brother Benjamin. But let's go a step further, because once again, you see the charges. They have him with 2 charges. They have the first one is murder. And murder is defined as the willful and intentional killing of one person by another. The willful and intentional killing of one person by another. So that is the murder charge. Now let's look at the definition of non-negligent manslaughter. That's the willful killing of a person without prior planning, but without malice. So they have 2 separate charges. First is the willful and intentional killing of a person, then non-negligent manslaughter, which means, well, he intentionally did it, but he didn't plan it and he didn't do it with malice. I always thought manslaughter was when you didn't mean to kill someone. So how does non-negligent manslaughter differ from negligent manslaughter? Negligent manslaughter means it is causing a person's death through gross negligence without intending to kill. It involves an act or an omission that creates a high risk of death or serious injury. So they're saying that, in other words, they're saying that our brother Benjamin was not negligent in what he did. So they're starting high as they do. This is what they call stacking charges, because they know they can't get him for murder, right? So they're hoping to get a 2nd degree or 3rd degree or whatever. But then they charge him with one of the lowest ones, non-negligent manslaughter. Why are they charging him with the lowest if he indeed did the highest? You got to understand that this is the play. They're going to put that on you. So this is going to scare you to death. It's going to create a narrative that we can charge you with this, but you can plead to this non-negligent. Why, if this man did what they said he did, or try to make it seem like he did, shot and killed a deputy, would he be charged with non-negligent manslaughter? And so that prompted me to go back into the police station, because once again, if you look at this report, it doesn't have a name of the person who was charged with the murder and non-negligent manslaughter. Why is it? And so actually this is very telling, because this is an incident. These says these are the crimes: murder and non-negligent manslaughter. But we all know that our brother is charged with murder. But they have on this non-negligent manslaughter. So I had to go back and ask the lady, why is his name not on this charge, this paperwork? And this is what she said.
What's that? So this right here is the charge, but it doesn't have the person who was charged on it.
Mm-hmm, that's correct.
It doesn't have it?
No, that's the public copy of the incident report. It's not going to have any suspect information.
Oh, okay. Okay. Is this all that is to it? Just the victim and witnesses, not the suspect?
No suspect information will be on that report.
Where can you get that from?
The full copy of the report?
Yeah.
We would need a court order signed by a North Carolina judge.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you. Court order signed by a North Carolina judge. Okay.
All right. And you heard what she said. So they're not going to give me the paperwork with him being charged and how they're trying to say he is charged, because it must differ from this saying the incident was a non-negligent manslaughter. Nevertheless, you heard her say, well, you got to get that from a signed court order by a judge. Now, I thought we had the Freedom of Information Act. I thought we had North Carolina General Statute 132, in which I had initially, even before I went, I sent an email to the Garner Police Department requesting all of the information concerning the event. And this is the email. I am requesting information under the NC General Statute 132 and the Freedom of Information Act concerning an event that happened at Wake Medical Center, Garner, North Carolina. This incident involved the death of a police officer, Roger Smith, and subsequent charges of murder against Benjamin Martin Jr. The information requested are any police incident reports, police descriptions of the incident, the body camera footage of the deceased officer, surveillance or camera footage of the emergency room, any other hospital camera footage that captured the incident, any eyewitness statements, and 911 calls relevant to the incident. These items can be emailed to the distress or picked up. Now, I sent that before I even went to the Garner Police Department. Now, before I got back, I received the email, and this person, shout out to that person, gave me a response. Now, this is his response. I have attached a public copy, so that means there's a private copy of the incident you requested. To maintain our fair and consistent practice with all requesters, we ask that you obtain a court order signed by a North Carolina judge for the full release of Garner Police Department records. So I have to get a court order for that. Also, our professional standard lieutenant handles requests for disclosure of Garner Police recordings. Please complete the attached Garner Police Department form, disclosure, and mail it to J. Benitez. Law enforcement recordings may only be released pursuant to a court order issued in accordance with 132(4)(a). And he goes on to tell me what else I cannot get. But he did send some documents that I want you guys to take a look at, because once again, this is how they always quote transparency and, we want to be open as possible. But I'm going to show you, even with their quote unquote transparency and the right for us to get this information, they already have measures in place to deny that. Now, this is the document that he was talking about. This is the request for disclosure of police recording. And it says either I am the person whose image or voice is in the recording, or I am the personal representative of the following person whose image or voice is in the recording. So we all know who image we want. We want that of Benji's, right? So now I have to be a personal representative of. Now, if you look closely at the bottom, see what they define personal representative as a parent, a court-appointed guardian, spouse, or attorney. So you have to be any of those, or the person. Of course, he's incapacitated. He's in the hospital still after being shot by this deputy they're accusing him of trying to kill. So you have to be him or a parent or a lawyer, right? So I can't get that information, right? So I dug deeper, and I spoke to, a person who's close to the family. I was like, yo, if y'all want to get this information, this is how you go about doing it. Even still, I want you to see how these measures are in place to even keep those individuals who are allowed by this statute to get this information. Just look at this. So this, under the North Carolina General Statute, once again, it defines, who the judge can give it to. And if you look at the bottom under number 5, it says, when disclosing and recording, the law enforcement agency shall disclose only those portions of the recording that are relevant to the person's interests. A person who is able to receive it shall not record or copy the recording. Now, they're saying facts for consideration. Basically, they're saying this is how we're going to decide if we're going to give it to you, even though you have the right to get it. Upon receipt of the written request for disclosure, as promptly as possible, the custodial law enforcement agency must either disclose the portion of the recording relevant to the person's interest or notify the requester of the custodial law enforcement agency's decision to not disclose the recording to the requester. So what they're basically saying here is, look, we're going to get back with you as soon as you make this request. We're either going to disclose it to you, or we're going to tell you why we can't disclose it to you. Now, I want you to look at this list of why they may possibly not disclose it to you, and see the shell game that could be played anytime a person wants this information. The custodial law enforcement agency may consider any of the following factors and determine if a record is disclosed. If the person requesting disclosure of the recording is a person authorized to receive disclosure pursuant to being a personal representative, a parent, a spouse, or a lawyer, right? Then they say another factor, if the recording contains information that is otherwise confidential or exempt from disclosure or release under state or federal law. Now, they can say anything is confidential, right? So that's another loophole they can use. If disclosure would reveal information regarding a person that is of highly sensitive personal nature. Of course, this will see Officer Smith probably doing some things that, were not right. So that is highly sensitive, right? Or number 4, if disclosure may harm the reputation or jeopardize the safety of a person. Now, if Officer Smith is on that tape doing something that is unlawful, then that will harm his reputation, right? Of course, they can use that. Now, if disclosure would create a serious threat to fair, impartial, and orderly administration of justice, of course, they can use that as well. If confidentiality is necessary to protect either an active or inactive internal or criminal investigation or potential internal or criminal investigation. So, of course, they can use that as well. If you remember the case about the white lady who shot the black police officer, the SBI agent in Charlotte, that happened about 5 or 6 or 7 years ago. But the news station went all the way to the North Carolina Supreme Court to get that footage, and they recently just released that footage this year. If you go back and watch that video I did, probably about a month ago. But that is what they're saying. Basically, look, we can hold this video until we're ready to protect the officer, to protect the investigation, to protect everything. But it may disclose that our brother Benji was only guilty of non-negligent manslaughter, if that. Because once again, from what I hear, he never had control of the gun. It was the officer who shot him first. Then, he popped himself, and then, he popped himself again. Once again, we only have to speculate why, because they are not giving us the transparency that is due. Now, I saw a news article from yesterday. They're saying that, the investigators are still trying to piece together what happened. Best believe it's been 5 days. They know what happened. And they still got the young brother up there. They're trying to charge him with murder. But you clearly see that this incident report says non-negligent homicide. That meaning a non-negligent manslaughter. Meaning, look, even if he did do it, he wasn't negligent in doing it. It wasn't with malice. He was defending himself. And so I want, you guys to share this video, because we have a young man, college graduate, soon to be father, if not already a father, a great godfather. One of the posts, one of the videos that I did had his goddaughter up there saying it hurts me so much to see my godfather all over the news like this. And so he is very loved. He's fighting for his health. And then he'll be fighting for his life in the court of law if, we don't stand behind him. We don't, keep this in the limelight, because what they will do is, let this die down. Let this whole thing die down. And then when it comes time to court, they'll hang that brother for something he didn't do if we don't stay active and keep, his legacy, his fight in the forefront. He has a whole lot of people out there speaking up for them, college friends, dance teammate friends, family members. And, if you guys know the family members, please get them this information because they do have a right to get that information. But it's funny to me how, these things are public, but we got to get a judge to sign off of them. But who does the judge work for? Who does the judge work with? The police and the prosecutors, who their job is to put people away, especially people who look like me. So that is the farce that we have in North Carolina is known for that. The Freedom of Information Act. You guys, know anything about that? I thought, that would work here, but they tell me Freedom of Information Act is only for federal information. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. You guys, let me know how we can go about getting this information to prove that our young brother did not do as they say he did. So but this is my my duty, if I would say, because I'm right here. And, when I saw that instantly, I just knew something was wrong. And then, from the police reports, normally if something happened as they say they did, they would have his gun. They would have all the video already showing, okay, well, this is what he did, but now nobody knows what happened. And it's 5 or 6 days later. Come on, man. You can't piss down my back and tell me it's rain because it's hot and I can smell it. But as Ephesians 5:11 says, take no works in the parts of darkness, but rather expose them, because it is a shame. It is a shame to even think about what they do in secret. These are things that they're trying to do in secret. Hopefully we'll be able to expose them, because all things hidden shall be revealed, and those things done in secret will be exposed on the mountaintop. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this video. You see the number 919-587-7782. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so. It helps the channel to grow. But I thank you for liking, watching, sharing, commenting, and subscribing to the channel. And as always, peace and blessings and prayers for the brother Benji Martin. Much love. And as the scripture says, all things that are hidden shall be revealed, and those things done in secret shall be exposed on the mountaintop.
Let's go, Rich. Let's go. You watching Telehouse Publishing, breaking news coverage. Give you the truth before fake news throw mud in it. Before the jury decide and the judge discover it, you should tune in to Telehouse Publishing. Telehouse Publishing, breaking news coverage. The propaganda grammar, don't believe none of it. Before the jury decide and the judge discover it, you should tune in to Telehouse Publishing. Who keep the people informed with stories abroad from literary work where the narrative's wrong. The research is always on point, the commentary is hard. It's Rich Teller raising the bar. Follow along, shout out to FBA, still FTP, big up NFAC, and all my black families. It's 3 sides to all stories, which one you gon' believe? We run down on the false prophets when they come to deceive. 100% urban world news, current events. We don't like them lies. Media is biased, cause we got God beside us. Ladies and gents is power. If you don't know by now, look around, we the darkest hours. Cops squeezing hammers, cause they don't understand us. We stop and freeze with our hands, cause they kill us off like cancer. Don't speculate before the facts on the case. Telehouse, set them straight by smoking rich investigates. You got your Telehouse Publishing, breaking news coverage. Give you the truth before fake news throw mud in it. Before the jury decide and the judge discover it, you should tune in to Telehouse Publishing. Telehouse Publishing, breaking news coverage. The propaganda grammar, don't believe none of it. Before the jury decide and the judge discover it, you should tune in to Telehouse Publishing.
Negroes have listened to the trickery and the lies and the false promises of the white man now for too long.